Hello, 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 hello. Hope you're all doing well. I was in the middle of a Hearthstone game. I thought it wasn't gonna take this long for it to finish. I thought I was gonna die, so now I'm sorry, but I have to finish this game because I'm having a really good run. Oh jeez. All right, hold on. Okay, this is pretty good. Let's get reborn to this. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right, there you go. I'm seeing the stream now. I always have to keep refreshing for it to start playing. Well, yeah, like so far, I've been doing pretty well, right? I could lose at any point in time, but while we're at it, let's analyze a bit of the way because this is Hearthstone, the battlegrounds type of thing, right? And it's this type of brain dead thing that I play usually when I have like downtime and stuff like that. And basically, fuck it, yeah, let's add another one. And basically, the way this works is that obviously like you get random units or like cards, whatever. Well, downtime. More like when I'm listening to podcasts to turn my brain off. But basically, the way this works is that it's all about like, how can I say, like, combining a bunch of ridiculous buffs and basically making imbalanced stuff. And it's a race for whoever is able to make the most broken build, basically, right? And so this is a type of design that I personally enjoy, because like I'm the type of person that I enjoy this philosophy of like when everything is broken, nothing is, right? Hold on. Let's grab this here. This. Hold on. There you go. Put that.
That's quite the army you're building, friend.
The scourge will consume you.
There you go. Let's put this like that. There you go. Okay, so you mean you're cheesing? Well, okay, but that's the thing, okay? So basically, the idea behind this, right, is that you have like different kinds of cards, right? Like dragons, quillbore, beasts, whatever, right? So these are archetypes. So if we're talking about like game design, right? These would be like different variables. Like if this was in Unity, it would be like we would use an enum and have the different names, right? And then you're like, okay, well, if a specific card of a specific type does X, Y, and Z, then other cards of the same type are going to get this effect or that effect or whatever, right? And I've always found that this type of design is very intuitive, right? Because it intuitively allows the player to mix and match stuff, right? So this is kind of the same idea that I had with the game project we're making, right? Which is like we create a bunch of archetypes, whether it's projectile archetypes, whether it's like the player upgrade system, like left arm, right arm, stuff like that, right? Whether it's enemy archetypes, platform archetypes, etc., right? And so the idea becomes like, how can the player try to min max and like mix and match and whatever, right? That's also why games like Hades are really fun and really popular, right? Because they allow the player to kind of break the game with each boon that they get and each boon that they stack and so on and so forth, right? Yeah, and so this is kind of what I had in mind when I said like when I wrote the title of this video, which is the player versus enemies. It's like what I'm planning on doing is hold on, let me just.
Good to get some minions in play.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. There we go. This, that, and the other. All right. Okay. So basically, what I had in mind. Let's open up the project actually, while we're waiting. So what I had in mind with today's stream and probably tomorrow is to start adding some of the things that like Red Herring suggested in the comment section of the last stream. And to just in general, because so far what we've made is we made the player character, right? Who technically works, right? We can shoot different projectiles. Each projectile type behaves a certain way. We have 2 enemy types. Eventually we're going to start adding more, right? 2 enemy types that do different things, right? But then now what we're missing is this idea that like the projectiles need to actually connect with the enemies, right? The projectiles need to have an impact on the enemies. And something else that's interesting that we could do is also have it so that the projectile explosion, since we have that mechanic now, we can also make it. Okay, there you go. The project is open and working. Okay, there you go. Scripts here. Okay, yeah, this is whatever. Okay, so let's open up. Where's the player? That's player upgrades, player manager. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we could make it so that, or try to make it so that the projectiles, each different projectile type is gonna have a different type of explosion, which is going to, I guess like interact with the enemies in a like special way or whatever, right? Zoom in, please. Okay, hold on. Just give me a moment. Okay, that one's not bad. We're gonna take it for later.
That's what I would have picked.
Okay.
Go ahead and hire one of these recruits.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go back to this. Yeah, let's zoom in. Okay, perfect. Hope that this is good. Okay, and so here we have collision test, enemy, blah blah blah. Yeah, we did the enemies. Explosion test. Okay, so that's okay. Scale change. Okay, so that was like my explosion placeholder script or whatever. Right? So now what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to make an actual explosion one, right? Yeah. Hold on. How much time is there left? All right, this is probably going to be the last round, and then I'm going to be able to stop this ridiculous multitasking. All right, so let's create, and we're going to call this player explosion script. Okay, double click it. Player explosion script, amazing. And let's just, or actually, where's the explosion test?
Everyone's gunning for you.
Okay, let's watch this nonsense. While we're at it, the fuck is this? Okay, well that's stupid. Yeah, this guy's stupid. He doesn't understand how to maximize the mechanics of the game. But yeah, as you can see, like the individual cards are starting to get like absolutely absurd. What's it called? Absurd stats. Also, I think my game crashed. Yeah, that's amazing. Ha! That's amazing. Wait for a program to respond. This guy may have rage quit. So, alright. Well, so much for that. Right, close program. Whatever. I won, clearly. Fuck these people. They're all scrubs. Alright. So let's close this. There you go. Alright, so now let's focus. Yeah, no, bro. Hearthstone, I'm not sure if it's made in Unity, but I know, because I remember a couple of years after Hearthstone came out, I was considering maybe applying for an internship at Blizzard, and I saw that one of the qualifications for having an internship on Hearthstone was to be able to what's it called, to be able to prototype in Unity. At the time, I barely knew what to do with Unity, so I was like, fuck that shit. But yeah, so Hearthstone might be made in Unity, and it's awful. It's so unoptimized, it's ridiculous. I didn't know there was a video game version of Hearthstone. Interesting. The reference to something. Okay. So now here, as I said, this is our explosion test. Let's just basically do this like that. Where's the player explosion? Let's just paste it like that. Okay, amazing. All right. So now once again, let's do another enum. So what I'm thinking is, hold on. Let me show you kind of what I had in mind. I thought of this, I think last night. Okay, there we go. Not this. Is it this? No. Or whatever. Bro, like oh my god. Like, why is it so difficult to get any of these? Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, let's, I don't give a fuck about the audio. Audio's cringe. Okay. Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay. So he's like throwing it, right? So I was thinking maybe the boomerang projectile could be something like this, right? Something you throw, then when it explodes, basically, it increases in size, right? Like that, and then it like pulls enemies into it, right? I was thinking like, let's try that, right? And see how that could work, right? But in order to do that, we need to actually have a proper player explosion type of what's it called? Type of script. Jesus Christ, my brain is fried as usual. Okay, so core variables, explosion object. Yeah, let's rename it to player explosion object, because eventually I'm also gonna have an enemy explosion thing, because like maybe we could have some enemies that when they collide with the player they explode, whatever, right? Okay, so this is fine. Now where okay, player left arm, whatever. Okay, let's just player explosion. So public enum. I assume that by now you guys kind of understand how enums work, right? So we're gonna do player explosion type, and we're gonna call there's gonna be, let's say, none. Yeah, fuck it, like I don't know, like let's say normal explosion, normal explosion, let's say pull explosion, push, and like slow type of explosion, right? And then here we're just gonna do public explosion type, or explosion type, this explosion type, right, equals, there you go, there. So now we can just remove this, we can just remove this, okay, there you go, perfect, all right? And so now here, instead of having explosion placeholder, we're gonna make a real function, which we're gonna call player explosion manager, let's say, okay. Now again, we're gonna follow the same logic of the different enemy types, right? So this enemy type, etc., etc. Yeah, so exactly. So here, when we had the enemy chases player function, we have a basic thing that makes the enemy move towards the player, right? But then immediately afterwards, depending on the enemy type, we have this, right? Like if it's a red enemy, it does this. If it's a blue enemy, it does that, etc., etc. And like, if you guys remember, I had a bit of difficulty with getting the blue enemy to like jump midair. Obviously I haven't touched the script since last stream, but maybe if we have time today or tomorrow, we might try to like get it working or whatever. But it's not a priority, right? So we're gonna follow the same logic, and this is in general how I design. Like I like making modular scripts, right? In the sense that like I want with as little code as possible to be able to do as much as possible, right? And I feel like, again, like I don't know because I don't have access to the codes of different games, right? But basically, I feel like a lot of games don't necessarily code stuff like that. And again, this brings us back to like the Hearthstone thing I was showing at the beginning of the stream, which is that the cool thing. Okay, let's go into Paint because it's gonna be easier for me to explain this to you guys, right? So we have like type 1, let's say like type 0, type 1, type 2, etc., etc., right? Like undead, dragon, beast, whatever, right? In terms of speaking about Hearthstone, right? And then, as I said, you have like, oh, all undead, all cards of type undead can affect other undead, right? And vice versa with this type and this other type, right? But the thing is that at the end of the day, they're all cards, right? So the way this would work, let's assume that it was coded in Unity, is that you would have like a card game object with the card script or whatever it's called, right? Card manager or whatever the script is called, and in it you're gonna have let's go to player explosion. You're gonna have, let's say, an enum that says like, okay, card type none, then that means it has no type. Then you have all, then you have beast, dragon, murloc, whatever, right? And so then it becomes really easy with like one or two scripts to do a bunch of different stuff, right? Like you can have a script that says like increase stats, and all it does is increase stats for all other cards of type murloc or undead or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And so we can use this same type of design and this same type of logic. That's what I do in my games. I use the same type of idea and the same approach to do like more interesting stuff, right? Like to do like versatile game mechanics, right? And to make things interesting, because and I think Zelda Breath of the Wild is very similar in that regard, because it it takes a bunch of different objects. Like it basically it assigns a bunch of different rules to a bunch of different game objects or whatever. And again, this is, let's pretend that Breath of the Wild was coded in Unity, right? You would assign different scripts with different variables and a bunch of stuff like that to different scripts, to different game objects, and then you would code it in a way that would allow any type of script to communicate with any other type of script, right? And then you would have, let's say, certain functions that would react to specific data that comes in, right? So for instance, the way I've been doing it in this project is that whenever like an enemy collides with the player, for instance, right? The player flies off, like the player gets pushed or the enemy gets pushed or whatever, right? But like we can push this same game mechanic, right? Or this same what's it called? Like the same logic, we can really expand upon it and extrapolate it to start covering like a bunch of different stuff, right? And that's when things get interesting, because you end up getting with you end up with like game mechanics. How can I say it? Like you basically you end up with stuff happening that you did not expect to happen, right? So player explosion, no, player explosion manager. There you go. Let's do it like that. Okay, and so now here we're just gonna do this, right? There you go. Okay, so scale change. Okay, that's good. Scale change, floors, ceiling, etc., etc. The blue enemies, yeah. Game dev serendipity. Hold on, what did serendipity mean again? Serendipity. The occurrence and development of events by chance in the... Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, basically, like kind of, right? Another thing that I used to inspire myself for how to do the AI in my sci-fi game, the one that I'm working on, right? It's oh my god, what was it called? Was it Rain World AI? Why Rain World has the best AI, I think. Yeah, the most complex ecosystem in any game. Okay, so here, like, I obviously we're not gonna watch the video, but this video is like really good. I suggest you guys watch it, right? It's really interesting. Actually, I'm gonna post it in the... Hold on. God damn it. Discord. There you go. Let's go here. General. I'm gonna post it here, right? So now you guys have access to the video. It's really good. It doesn't go into too much detail, but it does explain like how Rain World does its ecosystem and everything. And basically the idea is that each enemy type has a very specific set of behavior, right? So ecosystem simulation, right? I forgot, like there was a guy whose videos I watched who basically oh yeah, it's this guy.
The simulation.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, there you go. So basically he has, the blue ones are herbivores, the red ones are carnivores, and like you can see how like they're moving. Like it's very basic stuff, right? Like they're moving. The blue ones eat the grass or whatever. The red ones are chasing after enemies. Here he has like all of these different things, and the idea, right? Hold on. I think this is a time lapse. Yeah, the time lapse. So here you can see basically with just a bunch of basic rules, it ends up creating a very accurate simulation of how ecosystems work in real life, right? And so this is the type of design that I think more games need to have, but obviously like most games don't have this. No, exactly. The reds aren't cannibals. The reds only eat blues. Blues only eat the green grass, right? The plants, and that's it, right? So the reds can't eat one another, but they can starve to death, right? So again, so again, this is an example of a very, very, very like simple type of ecosystem, right? With just some basic rules. If I remember correctly, the guy said basically every couple of seconds, the blue ones and the red ones lose one like food unit, right? Then whenever a red one eats a blue one, it gains a couple of food units. Whenever a blue one eats some plants, it gains food units. And whenever a red one or a blue one is at a specific level of food, it replicates, right? It spawns a new one, right? And so that's why you end up with stuff like this, right? So let's just look, right? Like that, right? So you see the
If you'd
blue
like
ones
to
here and
support
here.
this project and the
Yeah.
many others I have in my backlog,
There
feel
you go.
free to check out my Patreon. You can also continue the discussion.
Okay. We get it. Check this guy's Patreon. But yeah, basically you have like so there's almost no plants anymore, and so this leads the blue ones to basically starve to death, and the red ones to also eat as many blue ones as possible. But now that there are way too many red ones, as you can see here in the graph, there's almost no blue ones left. Then the red ones start starving to death as well, and now you have a few blue ones reappearing, right? And now more grass. Oh, now more red, etc., etc. You see? And also, obviously, he coded it to make it so that the blue ones, when they detect a red one, they start running away from it. When the red ones detect a blue one, they start running towards it, etc., etc. Right? So again, like this is an example of some very basic stuff, right? And as you can see now, basically everything has balanced out. Like they're all very low in terms of population, right? But it stays balanced basically, right? This is what I mean. It's like when you create a system that is emergent, right? So what we mean by emergent behavior, right? Its emergent behavior refers to complex, unintended behaviors that arise from interaction of simple rules or components within a system. These behaviors are not explicitly programmed, but emerge as a consequence of the system's overall structure and interactions. They can be found in both natural and artificial systems, right? So let's take another look at Breath of the Wild emergent gameplay, let's say. The rise of the systemic game, right? Exactly. So in Game Maker Toolkit, right? Okay, yeah. So this is a good example. The player has metallic weapons on him. He's in an area where it's raining, so now I think he should get struck by lightning. Or maybe they're not gonna show. Oh yeah, or like you're climbing. It's raining, so the rocks are slippery, right? Or like enemies are sleeping, so you can sneak up on them. Yeah, your exploding arrows don't work when it's raining, etc., etc. You know. Hold on. Is he gonna get hit by lightning? Come on, bitch. Okay, yeah. This here is a good example, right? How the weather affects all of these different kinds, right? And so this is kind of the idea I'm going with most of my designs, and I think this is a good place to start with, right? When it comes to designing a game, is try to go for emergent gameplay, right? Because emergent gameplay, what makes it fun is that even you, the creator of the game, even you can't predict how everything's gonna work necessarily, right? And so that's what makes this very interesting, because every time you play, it's like it's kind of like a new experience, right? And it feels more immersive, right? But when you look at most AAA games nowadays, it's the exact opposite. It's like it's you're forced to play the game a certain specific way, right? Like you're not allowed to be evil. You're not allowed to kill essential NPCs, for instance. You're not allowed to join forces with characters that you personally like, and to go against characters you personally dislike, right? And most modern day protagonists are very unlikable. You know what I mean? So again, so like I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but it's just to say that like this is the type of design that I personally think has the most potential for making the most interesting games imaginable, and it also allows you to code very interesting game mechanics, basically, right? And like add more and more depth and content to your game very easily, right? Like let's pretend you're making a game similar in combat in gameplay to Breath of the Wild, but the whole point of the game is you have to survive in this fantastical forest, right, full of weird animals and shit. Well, then all you can do is every update you can just add new types of animals, right? Like that's kind of what Rain World is like, right? Hold on, if I go back and show Rain World, Rain World, yeah, AI.
Kelp feels truly unpredictable.
Yeah.
Play it cool, they'll do the same. All scavenger behaviors work on a reputation system, where they remember the player's actions and respond accordingly. For example,
Yeah.
sometimes you'll come across places called tolls, where scavengers won't let you pass unless you trade them something interesting. And they even have a custom animation to let you know you haven't paid yet. But if you do trade something valuable like a pearl, they'll sort of wave you through, letting you know you're good. Trading gets more complicated with merchants, specific scavengers that can offer you unique technology. When a scavenger wants a specific item, they'll kind of paw at the ground or reach out to the item to let the slug cat know they'd like it. And if you do give them the item, they'll drop something in return, like a land.
Yeah, so you see what I mean? It's like you can make some really interesting stuff, right? Well, yeah, exactly, Clark. It's games as a toy, basically. And another thing that I'm not sure the guy mentions in the video, and obviously we're not gonna like watch the entire video, but basically at some point there's a type of enemy in the game that's like a lizard that has like you know, some lizards have their like tongues that they can like shoot out and like hit insect, like catch insects with their tongues, right? Like the what are they called? Yeah, right. Tongues like these, right? So the idea is in the game there's a lizard with this type of tongue, right? And at some point the developers basically removed the legs from the lizard. I know this is a frog and frogs are amphibians, you know what I mean, right? And so they removed the legs of the lizard, and like it was kind of moving, just like kind of stuttering on itself and stuff, and eventually it started like pulling itself using its tongue, you know. And it's like that's emergent behavior, right? And it actually spooked the developers because they're like, we never coded this, like what the hell is this, you know? So again, so this is why I think if you want your games to really feel next level and to really have the potential to go viral, that's like a good example, right? That's a good example of how to design a system that can work without even the player, right? But then when you put the player in, that's like the one new variable that changes everything, right? The new parameter that changes everything else's behavior, because the player has agency that the system itself doesn't necessarily account for, and vice versa, right? Okay, so with this in mind, let's actually get to work on making like the explosions, right? So here we have the typical explosion thing, right? That hold on, let me just see. Scales. Okay. So let me just add another condition here. I'm gonna make it so that either when the timer elapses or when hold on, or when player explosion object dot transform dot local scale equals new, or hold on, equals 0. Yeah, no. Okay, give me a moment. It's gonna be here, right? Public vector 3 explosion death v3 equals there you go, and then here we're gonna do equals new vector 3. There you go. Equals that look cannot be applied to operands. Oh, equals. Okay, there you go. I'm stupid. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now it should be working. Okay, so basically the idea is whenever the explosion either is at 0 or whatever. Actually, I'm not even gonna do that. There you go. So I'm gonna determine what the explosion vector 3 is, but basically whenever the scale of the object is the same as the explosion death whatever, then or when the timer runs out, then this is gonna happen, basically. Right? The explosion is gonna disappear, right? So now what I'm thinking is if blah blah blah. Okay. So now it's in here is where we're gonna start adding the different things that the explosions are gonna do, right? So we're gonna say we're gonna say, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it. Whatever. Okay. So we're gonna say header. Yeah. Okay. Public bool eta.poo. There you go. All right. So none. Let's see. Let's rename this to red, blue, green, yellow. There you go. Okay. Okay. And then let's remove this placeholder. Float is going to be pull force F, right? Okay, so hold on. Oh, hey, GT. Hope you're doing good, and everybody else, obviously. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, how did it, let me just see how I wrote it down. Okay, yeah, red enemy logic, blah blah blah. Okay, gotcha. Okay, player explosion. So red explosion logic. Okay, so if exp type player explosion type, no, not this, this explosion type, yeah, there you go, perfect. Then we're gonna start doing this. Let's say the red explosion is your typical explosion that it's gonna increase in size and nothing else, right? Let's keep it simple and stupid, right? Let's do it like that. And let's say, let's then do this here. Trigger enter. Okay, and remind me how we did these again. The trigger, no, that's trigger exit. Okay. Okay, well actually we can just take all of this. Like that. Okay, so let's go, where is it? Player explosion. Let's do it like that. Now obviously it's gonna give me a bunch of errors because I'm using this basically. Okay, current enemy script. Here we're gonna do oops, variables for interacting with other scripts, and now we're gonna do private enemy current enemy script. There you go. Does the enemy have a rigid body? Okay, this rigid body, perfect. Dot add force is gonna be okay, a pull force. Pull force. Okay, yeah. Okay, I get it now. Okay, I get how we're gonna do this. So first we're gonna do, yeah, knockback direction. There you go. That's how we're gonna do knockback direction. Variable vector 3 knockback direction equals this minus that, or rather, I think it should be the opposite, right? I think it should be like that, basically, because it's the enemy that we're gonna push, right? Normalized. So now what we're gonna do is this times force F, and then force mode dot impulse. There you go. All right. Whispering in chat. Everyone say beep or chirp. Once in a while, Saki thinks he can't hear us yelling bird. Joke's on you. I changed the batteries 2 weeks ago. So, ha! All right. Yeah, okay, we don't really care about that. Here it's enemy like that. Okay, perfect. So now here what I'm gonna do is if this type equals type explosion type red. Message retracted. Okay, so there you go. That's how we're gonna do it, basically. Okay, like that. Okay, we're gonna remove this because we don't need any of it. We're also gonna remove this because we don't need any of it. Okay, what if I put a dead one in? What do you mean? What if I put a dead one in? Oh, like a dead battery? No, I went at the store, bought some brand new batteries, and put them in. Who do you take me for? Okay, so now we have this, and yeah, instead of using pull force though, we're gonna rename this to knockback. Whoops, knockback force, and the F stands for float. Remember knockback force. Okay, Perfect. So now let's go here and let's start implementing stuff. Let's go into our prefabs, player prefabs. Hold on, player normal. Okay, so what was it again? Hold on, player torso, left arm, right arm. What's the left arm look like? It's yellow. Then red, then green. Okay, well, what we're gonna do then is make it so that the red arm, this arm here, is going to have the player normal projectile, bouncing projectile. Yeah, I think I'm gonna rename them all based on colors, basically. Player, let's say red projectile, player red explosion. So now let's go back here, create new, well, we already have the materials. Okay, fuck. There you go. Go back here, materials. Okay, so red, then here we're gonna have to be blue projectile, blue, then this is gonna be orange projectile, orange. Okay, perfect. So now what we're gonna do for the red ones, right? Hold on, let's first apply all. Okay, so for all of the, no, the projectiles are good, it's the explosions that I need to change. We're gonna remove the explosion test component, go back here, no, go into our script and add explosion. Let's lock up to make sure that we don't lose our inspector. And then where's it? Player explosion. There you go, player explosion. Okay, perfect. So now we go back here, prefabs, player prefab. So orange explosion, in terms of the explosion object, it's itself. Blue explosion is itself. And red explosion is also itself. So now let's do this. Let's override, apply all. Perfect. Now orange explosion, scaling time, let's say 10 seconds, or no, 20 seconds. Scaling time elapsed, let's see, 10 seconds. No, exactly. No, this, we don't touch this. Hold on, and how long? Okay, no, right, because this is the explosion. Okay, let's add another one here that's gonna be orange, just since we have our orange explosions. I was gonna say projectiles. Orange, override, apply all. Blue explosion, we're gonna say blue, override, apply all. And then we're gonna say red explosion, red, override, apply all. Okay. So scaling time, let's say 5 seconds. Scale change speed, let's say 111. Explosion death, right? Okay, that's fine. Okay. And knockback force, let's put it at 10, and let's see how strong that is gonna be, right? Oh, and hold on. Hold on. Okay, so this is the explosion. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna start actually adding the collision code for when a projectile hits an enemy. So basically, so far the way I've programmed, the way I've coded the projectiles is that there's nothing that reads when a projectile collides with an enemy. So the projectiles just go through the enemies, right? So now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make it so that the projectiles, when they collide with an enemy, they explode immediately instead of waiting for their timer, right? Damn it, and I know he doesn't have multiple floors, so it's just the one detector. I have more than one detector, bro. Jesus. Is it projectile lifetime? Yeah, that's right. Okay, there you go. So enemy script, let's go player explosion. Let's just copy paste this. And again, this is another advantage of working with very similar scripts, right? It's because you can just reuse a lot of your code, which just makes things really fun, you know? So what I'm gonna do here is this projectile lifetime. All I'm gonna do is this. So when the projectile collides with an enemy, is plus equal lifetime, right? So basically I already have this function, the projectile lifetime function, that determines when the projectile has reached its maximum lifetime, spawn an explosion, and then destroy yourself, right? Well, then all I have to do is just, instead of just copying this code here, I can just say, oh, just artificially boost its lifetime to the point where it's clearly past its lifetime, and then this is gonna happen immediately, basically, right? And then the cool thing is that here I can then start adding more stuff that's going to determine that might change the effect it has when it dies, right? So like if a projectile type is a normal projectile, super projectile, whatever, then do X, Y, and Z, right? So again, that's what I mean when I say like emergent gameplay, modular code, stuff like that. That's kind of what I have in mind, right? Of like how to make things interesting without wasting time creating specific interactions and specific scenarios, you know? All right, so now we have this. Now the projectile, when it collides with an enemy, is gonna do this, and then when the player explosion is of type red and it collides with the enemy, it should knock the enemy back, basically. Okay. So let's see. Oh, hold on. Let's just do that. Now this one's player red projectile. Player bounce. Okay, well, let's change this to that. Red projectile. Oh. Wait, why are these not? Nani? Hold on. Apply all. So these ones, their names change, but not these ones. Okay, interesting. So we're gonna rename this to blue. Oops, Jesus. Blue projectile. Orange explosion. Orange projectile. Blue explosion. Okay, there you go. let's just, okay, no overrides, amazing, okay. So now this one here has a red projectile. Let's give these ones the blue one, blue projectile. Or actually, no, yeah, okay, never mind. I'm gonna change all of these to, this one's gonna go from orange to yellow, because right now, just to keep things like intuitive, you know? The yellow arm is gonna shoot yellow projectiles, the red arm is gonna shoot red projectiles, etc., etc., right? So now, materials, yellow, yellow. There you go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now what we got is yellow arm, yellow projectile, red arm, red projectile, okay, green arm, blue projectile. Fuck's sake, material. There you go. Apply all. Perfect. Okay, there you go. So now save. I know I'm a bit OCD, but I like keeping things clean. You know what I mean? Like keep things intuitive, so on and so forth, right? So prefabs, let's go here. So now we have player yellow projectile. Just once again, let's just make sure everything is as it should be. Projectile. Okay, so let's just rename these. Green explosion, green projectile. There you go. So now this is green, this here is yellow, red, and green. Okay, there you go. All right, so now let's just start testing things out. Okay, let's get our arms. Okay, where are the enemies? Okay, that's where they're coming from. Oh, oh, fuck, no! That's where they're coming from. Oh, fuck. Ah! No! I'm getting swarmed! Ah! Okay, so hold on. So clearly it was detecting the collisions, okay? But first of all, let's go into projectile. Let's see projectile speed. Let's double it. Let's double the projectile speed of all of my projectiles. There you go. Just to see if they're gonna be better. All right. All right. Okay, that's where they're coming from. Okay. So as you can see, it is actually pushing. Yeah. Okay, so they are pushing the enemies. Oh fuck, oh fuck. No! Okay. Pew 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 pew. Okay. Yeah, they are pushing the enemies. Okay, perfect. Okay, interesting. But the knockback force, what was it? Wait, that's the explosion. Oh, interesting. So should okay, so the way I've coded it right now is that the explosion itself is what pushes the enemies away, right? The devil boxes win again. Yeah, hold on. The Carmelos are relentless. Okay, hold on. So we have the projectile. Okay, there you go. We have the projectile thing. All it does here is make the projectile die, basically. Okay, what's something else that I could do? So basically the projectiles when they're dying. Okay, because hold on. Let's for now disable the spawner, right? Let's just disable it for now. Okay. Because when I have too many enemies, it becomes a bit difficult to pinpoint what does what. Okay, I have a red one here. It's just okay. So that worked. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh! Nice. Okay. Okay. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. Okay. So I think the reason why it looks a bit weird is because the explosion itself, so let's say red explosion here, I should do it like 5 times. It should increase by size, like by 5, right? Hold on, let me also see player explosion. Yeah, okay. Change scale speed, and then scaling time 5 seconds should be 1.5 seconds. And actually let's scale it by 10, right? Like really make it ridiculous, right? Okay. Come on, give me a red one. Okay, perfect. Fuck you, bitch. Okay, see? Oh, fuck! Ah! Shit. I fell off. Or actually now now that we know for sure that they work, let's re-enable the spawner, okay? And see how these work. Okay, puto. Let's go. Nice. Oh, fuck. Okay. Pew 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 pew. Oh. Nice. Okay. 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 Ah. Ah. Okay. Like this is starting to take shape, you know what I mean? And initially I was thinking like, oh, you know, I would do the typical thing. So like I'm gonna show you guys what I initially intended to do with the projectiles. But honestly, testing it out right now and watching all of the crazy physics and stuff, I think that the way the player is going to have to get rid of the enemies, it's not in your typical projectile stuff of like, oh, the projectile hits the enemy and the enemy takes like 1 damage or whatever. Instead, what I think I'm gonna do is make it so that the lava here, right? Like when you fall off of the platform and you hit the lava, that's what kills the enemy and the players, the enemies and the player. And the goal is going to be for the player to knock back, like to knock out the enemies and knock them into the lava, basically. But also not themselves get knocked into the lava. I think that could be like a very chaotic and fun game, right? But I'm going to show you guys in general. If you want to make it a more normal game where like when a projectile hits an enemy, like the enemy takes damage, it's very simple. So let's go into the projectile script. Let's add core variables. Let's say public int, just because I don't want damage to be floats, because you don't want to take like 1.2 damage, 3.53 damage or whatever, right? Like you want to take like 1 damage, 2 damage, 5 damage, etc., right? So okay, public int projectile damage equals minus 1. There you go. Yeah, do a homing rocket. Maybe later, because that does require a bit more practice, but that could be interesting. But I think the homing rocket would be more interesting if it came from enemies rather than from the player. Okay, so projectile damage. Our enemies have max HP, current enemy HP. Okay, perfect. Okay, and so we're gonna do projectile. When the projectile collides, before it loses all of its HP, you just do enemy script dot HP, current HP minus equals projectile damage. Boom, there you go. It's that simple. It's that simple. And now to get the enemies to actually die, we're gonna do public void enemy, enemy HP manager. So if current HP is lower or equal to 0, destroy this dot game object. There you go, simple, right? And now I think I gave my enemies. Oh no, not this. Not this. Okay, save. Okay. I'm gonna give all of them. Yeah, they're not gonna have 100 HP. They're gonna have 5 HP. Let's say, right? Yeah, current HP 1. Their HP automatically gets boosted. And then what I'm gonna do is player red projectile is gonna deal 1 damage, and a red explosion, let's say, is gonna do, oh, I don't have a red explosion damage value actually, so player explosion here, oh, okay, this is cool. Now what I'm gonna do, okay, I'm gonna do a public integer explosion damage equals -1, right? And now here what I'm gonna do is public integer red damage modifier equals -1 as well, right? This number is used as a modifier for the base. Okay, so explosion, hold on, explosion base damage, and then public integer explosion final damage equals 0. Okay, for the base damage, there you go. And now what we're gonna do here in the void start is simply say if this type equals explosion type dot red. There you go. We just do base damage. No. What we do is final damage equals base damage plus red damage modifier, right? You can also do multiply it, but if you multiply it, transform the red damage modifier into a float, just so you can do stuff like base damage multiplied by 1.5, for instance, or 0.2, or whatever, right? That's more interesting, but for now I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm just gonna do one plus the other, right? It's just simple. And then here, when it knocks it back, right? Yeah, it's gonna knock it back, but it's also gonna do current enemy script dot current HP minus equal final damage. There you go, right? So now we're gonna do this. Okay, like that. So now I'm going into the explosion. What's the base damage? The base damage is gonna be 1. What's the red damage modifier? 9, let's say, right? So it's gonna be, or actually, you know what? Yeah, it's a bit more intuitive if I just multiply it. I'm gonna multiply it. I'm gonna change this to a float. Change this to 0.f, like that. Okay, and now it's giving us an error, right? Because an integer, when you take an integer and you multiply it by a float, right? The game doesn't know if your float is going to be like 1.0, which 1.0 f, like, or minus 1.0 f, like you can see here, and minus 1. It's kind of the same thing, right? Like this is technically the same thing as an integer, as the minus 1 here. But the problem is that it's a type float, so it doesn't work, right? Like you can't, because the result here must be an integer, but the moment you multiply an integer with a float, the result is always going to be a float. So that's why it doesn't work, right? So now how you can do this, okay, is the following. You write math f, okay, math f in parentheses, math f dot round to integer, right? And then this like that, right? There you go. Yeah, so now this allows you to round whatever is inside of the parentheses into an integer, right? So in other words, here I could have one float multiplied by another float, or like in our case, an integer multiplied by another float. And even though the result inside of the parentheses is always going to be a float, this is going to transform it to the nearest integer, right? So if for instance, the result of this is 1.4, it's going to round it to the nearest integer, which is going to be 1. If the result is 1.5, it's going to round it to 2. You see what I mean? So you need to be careful, right? Something else you can do, if you always want the value to be the lowest integer, what you can do is floor to integer. So what this means is that if the value here is, let's say, 1.99, it's going to round it to 1, right? It's going to go to the lowest integer, right? On the other hand, if you say, seal, C-E-I-L to int, right? And what it's going to do is that the float inside the parentheses is going to be rounded to the highest integer. So the float could be 1.01. It's going to get rounded to 2. You see what I mean? Now, in our case, we're going to keep it simple. So we're just going to keep it to round to int, which is if it's between, hold on. So round to int, x point 5 to x plus 1.4 is going to be equal to x plus 1, right? Floor to int is x point 9 is going to be equal to x. Ceiling to int is x point 0001, right? Is going to be equal to x plus 1, right? Like that. So example 6.5 and 7.4 will be rounded to 6. Example 1 point will be rounded to 1. And here, example, like that. Example, it's going to be 1 point rounded to 2. There you go. So again, so this is just an idea, like to give you guys an idea of like how these things work, right? There you go. I'm probably like I'm probably gonna put not today, but after tomorrow, I'm gonna put the what's it called, the a copy of this project in the Discord server so that you guys can download it and have access to all this stuff, right? So if you're not sure what each of these do, just come to this script and you're gonna see this here. Or obviously, like go to the Unity API, like that, to the Unity API, and just type round to int, math f round to int, and here it's gonna explain it in perfect detail, right? Then you can have ceiling to int, math ceiling to int, blah blah blah, etc., right? Okay, so now back on topic. Yeah, here we're just gonna have it like that, right? Now we have the final damage, the explosion damage, and here whenever it collides with an enemy, it's gonna do it like that, right? So now here all we're gonna do is damage modifier times 10, right? There you go. Yeah. So now if I were hold on, to click red explosion, to press this, now here when I press play, you're gonna see the explosion final damage is gonna go from 0 to 10, right? Hold on. Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, and then the projectile disappeared, but yeah. Oh fuck. Oh, not the projectile, but the explosion. Oh, my allergies are fucking killing my nose. Did you show that mousing over the property also often gives some info on what it does? Yes, that's very true. Hold on. Explosion test. No, not explosion test. Player explosion. Player explosion. So here, if you mouse over to round to int, it says returns f rounded to the nearest integer, right? And so on and so forth, right? If I do ceiling to int, ceil to int, and I stay mouse over, returns the smallest integer greater to or equal to f, floor to int, returns the largest integer smaller to or equal to f, etc., etc., right? There you go. But we're gonna keep it rounded to int. There you go. But he can do it again. Exactly. Okay. Okay. So now here we have the knockback force. We have the red damage, etc., etc. Explosion. Base damage 0. Yeah. Well, this doesn't matter. Okay. Explosion. Base damage 0. Right? So now when we test this, the only explosions that are going to do damage are the red explosions, basically. Right? So let's see. Okay, yeah. So now, neither of these projectiles explosions do much of anything. Okay, hold on. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ah! Fuck you, bitches. Just none of my boomerangs are actually properly exploding. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. So why aren't my boomerang projectiles? So projectile, if it's boomerang, blah, blah, blah. Okay, boomerang timer, boomerang flight timer, plus equals, and then it, yeah, then it moves back, right? Okay, so boomerang, so those are the yellow projectiles of type boomerang. Oh, projectile damage, god damn it, I didn't change these ones, damage. Projectile damage 1, okay. Damage variables. Wait, I have 2 projectile damage variables. Hold on. This projectile damage. Oh, okay, well, never mind. We're gonna remove this. And so here we're just gonna do this projectile damage. Okay, there you go. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, now let's go back to here. The zoomerangs. You can also just press the I forgot the dot and navigate. Yeah. The navigate the whole list of properties and get info starting to type. Yeah. Wait, what's Ikaruga? Hold on. Ikaruga video game. Huh. Oh, YouTube. Ikaruga OST. Huh. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I see what kind of game it is. Bullet Hell Shmup. I don't know what Shmup stands for, but Bullet Hell, I understand that. Okay, so right now, okay, this projectile damage 1. This projectile damage 1. This projectile damage 1 as well. And this is -1, minus equals. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, boomerang timer. It's gonna be 5 seconds. Flight timer, there you go. 5 seconds. And then this projectile lifetime, it's gonna be 10 seconds. Right? Okay, this projectile lifetime is gonna be 10 seconds. So the boomerang change direction equals false. Do this, and then change direction equals true. Okay, gotcha. So it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Okay, that makes sense. And then when it collides with the enemy, yeah, it's lifetime, blah, blah, blah. So it creates an explosion. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so now let's test out and see if the... Oh, hey, Zeno. Sorry I couldn't be here sooner. Oh, fuck. Hold on. I have a lot of shit to do and deal with before I can stream today here for the engagement. Here for the engagement. All right, well, thank you. And I hope you get, like, you end up finishing everything you have to do. Okay, nice. Nice. Oh, fuck! No! Ah! No! Okay, so the red bullets work. The red projectiles work. That's good. Okay. Okay, let's try the yellow ones now. Oh, fuck. No! God damn it. Fuck. Hold on. I think I'm gonna change the speed to like 30. Make them even faster. But only the yellow ones. Okay, perfect. Okay. Oh! Jesus. No. Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. Oh. No. Ah. Back, you savages. Okay, and now are they working? Oh. Okay. Oh, I'm stupid. All of these are project. Oh, okay. I understand what's happening now. It's because I didn't properly code the these ones explosion. Okay, so explosion damage, damage modifier obviously 0, scaling timer 20. Yeah, so they stay for 20 seconds, which actually I would like them to be for, let's say, 5 seconds, and then scale change would be again 5, or is it 10? 10. Okay, yeah. 10. So that's why I thought, like, I was like, why aren't they working? Okay, gotcha. Okay, now. Okay, now hopefully I'm gonna get the good RNG. Okay, perfect. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. Oh, fuck. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Jesus. Oh. Oh, fuck. Okay. Jesus. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Okay. Yeah, okay, so clearly, okay, the red projectiles are clearly working. I need to stop using them because right now we're trying to test out the yellow ones. Okay. Okay. Jesus. Okay, okay. Yeah, so see, are they connecting? Yeah. Okay. So then, so why aren't the yellow projectiles expanding? 10, 10, 10. Explosion damage. Explosion death. Knockback force. Okay, hold on. So now player explosion. No. Player explosion. It's scaling, blah, blah, blah. Increase scale. Oh! Okay. Okay, right. Okay. Yellow explosion logic. I'm stupid. So if this type equals type explosion type dot yellow. Okay, that's why. Oh my god. Okay, red else if this explosion type equals player explosion type blue. There you go. Else if green explosion logic, red explosion logic. Okay, so now, okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna be right back real quick. Okay, this is stupid. Hold on, blue. Okay, I'm gonna be right back real quick, like 10 seconds just to refill my water bottle. And when I get back, I'm gonna start adding a specific behavior for the yellow explosion logic, right? Which is gonna be fun, hopefully. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. All right. So now here, what we're gonna do, okay, is red explosion collision. Hold on. Blue explosion collision. Green, there you go. And what we're gonna do here is, there you go, like that, normalized, add force, and then here, yellow explosion, full force, yellow damage modifier, so do damage, okay, apply damage modifiers if relevant, okay, and then red damage mod, yellow, and here it's gonna be damage mod. There you go. Okay, and yeah, final damage, full force. F. Okay. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create some materials for the explosions. Because right now I'm using the same materials for the projectiles as I am for the what are we gonna call them, for the explosions and the projectiles. So here I'm gonna do transparent mats. Okay, so create material transparent or blue transparent material. Transparent blue, and then let's put this at 75. No, 150, 125. Yeah, 125. That's good. Okay, and now I'm just gonna duplicate this a couple of times. Hold on, and then change this one to orange. There you go. Change this one to red. There you go. Change this one to yellow. Yeah, good piss yellow. Right? And there you go. So green transparent material. Yellow transparent material. Red transparent material, and that's orange. Orange transparent material. There you go. Golden shower. Jesus, this has some potential. I'm getting the hell beaten out of me by transforms on dynamically created objects and their children right now. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay, by transforms on dynamically created objects. Okay. So, if you can, could you tell me what your issue is specifically with regards to the transforms and stuff? Because right now, the way I'm reading your comment, it's as if when you dynamically create an object, the transform of the object and of its children doesn't work the way it's supposed to work, right? So let's just materials, transparent materials. Okay, so orange explosion. Okay, hold on. What? Yellow explosion. Yellow projectile, red projectile, green explosion. Okay, hold on. Let's remove these. Let's put these up here. There you go. Now green explosion. We're going to go into the materials. Green explosion. Okay. Red explosion and yellow explosion. Okay. There you go. And now, no. I'm stupid. Okay, there you go. Now let's do this. Apply all. Okay, now we can properly distinguish which ones are which. And so let's click yellow explosion. What's its damage? 1. Base damage, let's say 1. Whatever. Red explosion. Yeah, who cares? Red explosion is 10. And green explosion, let's say it's gonna, oops, no modifier, and yeah, base damage 1, scaling timer 5 seconds, let's say, and scaling change is gonna be 555, for instance. Right. Okay, for now, yeah, that's good. And now let me just go back to the player explosion. And here we have at the void start, basically we're updating the final explosion, but we're missing one last thing, one last else statement, which is that if the player, if this explosion type is none of the current explosion types, right? We're just gonna say final explosion equals base, final explosion damage equals base explosion damage. There you go, right? Okay, so now let's actually make sure that he's here. Plus equals, there you go. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Actually, I'm gonna finish doing a couple of things. Okay, and this thing's scale is gonna be, let's say 10. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so now here, for the green explosion, what we're going to do is hold on. So scaling time. Okay, I have an idea. Okay, so if time elapsed is lower than timer f divided by 2, then it's going to shrink. It's going to shrink as if time elapsed is greater or equal to timer f divided by 2. It's going to increase in size, right? And now all I'm gonna do is green explosion, if it's shrinking, it's gonna be like that. Pull direction, there you go. Otherwise, we're gonna do this like that, right? Like that. Okay. So, okay, hold on. Okay, there you go. Okay. And now okay. I know that this is boring as fuck to watch, but bear with me. I'm just laying the groundwork for hold on. for having different types of like explosions and stuff. Blue, blue, there you go. So blue. Oops. Green. Okay, there you go. All right. All right. All right. Perfect. Okay, so now in theory it should work. Obviously we don't have anything for a blue projectile or whatever. It's not important. What we do have here is, yeah, the scales, the knockback force, the pull force, etc., etc. The damage modifiers. We got the scale for the red ones, the scaling also for the green ones, and for the yellow. And then finally, once it has met its, I'm no zoomer, son. All right. Yeah. Okay. So let's just set everything up now. 3 seconds. 555. Yeah, the size of 10. It's gonna be 1, 1. Oops, no. 0. Base damage. There you go, there you go. 0, 0. 0, 0. Okay. So now what I've done is I've made it so that the red explosions. Okay, what's the console giving me? When was this? Okay, that was 2 minutes ago. That's fine. Okay. So now the way that I've coded it is that the red explosion just expands in size, and any enemy that collides with it gets pushed back and like practically immediately destroyed. The yellow explosion should pull enemies towards it, right? But while also expanding in size. And the green one should start really big, shrink in size and pull enemies towards the center, and then when it expands in size, it should push enemies out, right? So let's just see. Oh, okay, hold on. We're getting errors. The variable m targets for... What the fuck is this? Double click. Okay, so these are some weird errors that don't seem to be impacting anything. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay. I forgot this. I gave it no pull force and no knockback force. So wait, what's the knockback force on this? 10. This one needs a pull force of 10. And this one needs a knockback force of 10 and a pull force of 10. Okay, so that's why nothing was happening with the green ones. Okay, and let's see. This is 10. Scaling timer. Let's see. 10. Let's see. Okay. Wait. School is so boring. Throws pencil at the teacher. Teacher already hit me with a roll. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, green. Okay, interesting. Okay, are they pulling the enemies? I'm not sure. Oh! Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Jesus. Okay, hold on. So I'm not entirely sure if... So scaling here minus equals scale change speed times time dot delta time, right? So if the scaling, yeah, it should work. Interesting. Right, well, anyways, let's look now as to whether or not, let's hopefully get a yellow. No, we keep getting green ones, god damn it. Yeah, no, they're not changing in size actually. Okay, but are they pulling enemies? Not sure. Bro, these blue enemies are actually fucking tough. Oh, shit. Or wait, do all of my enemies... How much HP do they have? 5 HP? Okay, yeah, they have 5 HP. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, hold on. Like that. Can... I think it has to do with this, right? Scaling timer divided by 2. Time elapsed. If it's... Yeah, no, this should work. Oh well, I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's instead just cancel this for a second, just to make sure that everything works. But yeah, you're right. I think I'm gonna increase the transparency. Materials, transparent materials. 75. 75. 75. 75. 75. Okay. Now hopefully I'm gonna get a fucking yellow arm so that I can start, you know, properly. Nope. Okay. Come on. Come on, you bitch. Nope. Bruh. How many times? This is like the 5th or 6th time in a row that I'm not getting yellow. What the fuck is this? Hey, there you go. Okay. Pew, 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 pew. Okay. Once again, the projectiles. Or are they just too transparent? No, they're not too transparent. What? Okay. Plus equals change speed. Yeah. So if we go into the prefabs. Okay, player prefab. 10, 10, 10, 1.5. That's yellow explosion. Full force. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, because it's orange. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Bruh. That's why it was working weird. Or rather, it just wasn't working. Oh my god. Ah la la. Okay, give me a yellow one. Come on, bitch. No. Shitty game. This game is shit. Boo. No. Not two green ones. Give me a yellow one. Ugh. Hey, there you go. Okay. Come on, bitches. Okay. Yeah, so it's not exactly pulling them towards it, right? So hold on. So instead, because I think what I need to do to make them pull them towards them is pull direction is just gonna be this. Yeah, there you go. Transform, position, dot normalized. I think if I do it like that, pull direction, pull force, pull direction, pull force. Okay, perfect. Hopefully now it should work properly. Which piece of shit made this ass pile of a game? When you say you're stupid, you're insulting my friend. I don't like it, please. A bullet hell platformer sounds kind of cool, actually. Yeah. Hold on. Like that's the worst part. It's like I've never really made, or not made, but like I've never really played. Oh geez. Okay, interesting. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so now they're not pulling them. Now they're just pushing them back. Okay, interesting. Now let's see these. Yeah, these ones are still bugged. Okay. So you know what I'm gonna do for this one? Since it's still bugged, I'm gonna do plus. There you go. I'm gonna do it like that way. Let's see if this works now. And okay, and they're not pulling. Okay, so let's ask ChatGPT, just because I'm fed up with this. I'm currently messing around in Unity 6. Hold on. Not bad. Okay. I'm currently messing around in Unity 6. I've made a projectile script that makes it so that when a projectile collides with an enemy, it instantiates an explosion object, which then has an effect with every enemy the explosion collides with. I'm trying to create a pull effect for some of the explosions, but I can't seem to get the vector 3 right. Here's a snippet of my code for context. Text. So, I'm specifically referring to the green and yellow projectiles for some context. And now we're just gonna do this, and we're gonna copy paste. No, we're gonna copy paste the void trigger enter. Triggered. Triggered. All right. Yeah, at least it's not a VTuber. Yes, ChatGPT is getting the credits as lead programmer or whatever. Okay, thanks for okay, blah. This line is not calculating the direction from the enemy to the explosion center. Yeah, that's what I thought, which is what a proper pull should be doing. Instead, it's just normalizing the explosion's world position, which doesn't take the enemy's location into account at all. Okay, so that's kind of what I had initially, right? But it didn't seem like it was working properly. Okay. Pull direction. Oh, Jesus. No! Okay. Okay. Nope. Yeah, and we're almost 2 hours and 30 minutes in, so I'm probably gonna try to fix these last couple of errors or bugs or whatever, and then I'm thinking that that'll be it for today. Okay, come on. Okay, yeah, so it is pulling them. Okay, so now, okay, it was pulling them, so that's good. So now instead, what I'm gonna do is, here we have private on trigger stay. Okay, so far I've shown you guys trigger enter and trigger exit. Trigger enter is when two colliders that are trigger colliders enter, like they collide for the first frame together. Trigger exit is the opposite. It's the frame in which they're not colliding anymore. It detects that, but stay is while they are inside, right? So now what I'm gonna do is just copy this here. Actually, yeah, hold on. I'm gonna copy all of this here, like that, and now for now we're gonna remove this like that for now. Pull direction, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, okay, so do is green explosion pull force is gonna be, let's say 2.5. all right, let's see, and this is on a trigger stay. Okay, come on bitches. Okay, maybe the force isn't strong enough. Yeah, okay, maybe the force isn't strong enough. So let's do pull force 10. Okay. Bro, isn't it crazy how like almost every time I get a green one? Okay. Jesus. Okay, hold on. Can I get a yellow one? Okay, perfect. So let's see now. Okay, interesting. Oh, fuck. Ah! Okay, Jesus. Oh. Nope, not this. Okay, well, I'm not sure if the pull direction is actually properly working, right? So, but anyways, it's fine. Like it is working. It's just not necessarily doing exactly what I want it to do, right? But again, that's part of that's kind of the drawback of trying to make an emergent to create emergent gameplay, right? It's because like the point of it is not necessarily to do what you expect it to do, right? So that's why like things are like that. Okay, hold on. Oh, all right. At least it's not a VTuber, blah blah blah. It's solid for being a spin-off. If you like Blast Blue, you'll probably stay for the gameplay references. Last time I played Blast Blue was on 360. Barely remember it. Blast Blue had whack story, but at least it balanced it with wacky gameplay. The green explosions look like watermelons. What the fuck? This RNG is randomly consistent. It's not fair. It's all RNG. This is bullshit. I quit. BBEE Studio went bankrupt around release, but popularity on Steam saved them, and they rehired everyone and can do more DLC now. Okay, that's good. Good for them. Is there co-op and entropy effect? I don't know what that is. That's kind of anime. Well, he retracted the message. There is, but online is laggy as hell, unusable. They added couch co-op this week though. All right. Okay. So we're over 2 hours past the time. So I think we did a decent amount of progress today, and I'm probably gonna have to leave just because I still have a shit ton of things to do with my game, and I'm currently dealing with a bug that's like infuriating, and I really need to find a way to fucking deal with it. But yeah, so hopefully this was again useful for you guys to see like how to do modular code and like use modular logic, if that makes sense, right? I'm not sure if modular is the right word, but you know what I mean, right? Like this type of like very these very robust scripts that allow you to do a lot of different things with the same script, right? And tomorrow at noon, I'm gonna continue with this. I'm thinking maybe making more enemies, maybe starting to add like actual level designs, actually getting the lava to work, right? And removing the damage from the projectiles and the explosions, and instead relying more on like the knockback or pull, right? Like basically the physics type of stuff, right? Just because it's more funny that way. And yeah, that's why I'm thinking. I'm gonna post the Discord chat for anybody listening in the VOD. Join the Discord. It's fun. We got lots of resources on there, right? It was a nice stream. Thank you. Then the stream barely started and it's already over. All right, thanks for the stream, Randy. Take care, Zeno. Thanks for coming. That demo better be on my desk in the morning. This is useful. Maybe a lot has come up recently, but I still hope to stream later. We'll see. All right. Well, for anybody watching, go check out Zeno's stream. And yeah, I think that's it for today's stream. I know it was a bit of a shorter one, but yeah, hopefully tomorrow we're gonna make like we're gonna get closer to finalizing the core gameplay loop for our game, which is let's say like it's wave based. The spawner spawns a certain number of enemies each wave, and you have to survive. You have to basically eliminate all enemies, and once they're eliminated, maybe you get another upgrade, and then the next wave appears, right? So on and so forth. This is still gonna take a bunch more streams to do, because I'm gonna have to start adding a UI into the whole mix, and adding like an end game state, like a fail state, and stuff like that. But yeah, these are things we're gonna see little by little, right? Tomorrow, actually, I think tomorrow I'm gonna start implementing that. Actually, like I'm gonna make the lava work. So like when the player touches the lava, they're dead. When enemies touch the lava, they also die. And the goal is to survive and kill all the enemies, or you know, if you die, get a game over, basically. So yeah, so that's the plan. Again, hope you guys enjoyed. If anybody watching this has any feedback or wants to see certain specific things, let me know in the comments. And eventually what I'm gonna do, not quite yet though, but eventually once I'm done with like the core gameplay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start modifying this project and transform it into different genres of games, right? So right now it's kind of this like 3D third-person platformer bullet hell shooter, but eventually I'm going to transform it into a tower defense. I'm going to transform it into a base builder. I'm going to transform it into like whatever other game you guys are interested in making, right? Just to show you guys how to code like completely different mechanics for different genres of games using the original structure, basically. So yeah, so that's the plan, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.